Crossing the Pennines project began about a year ago when the Golker and Slaithwaite Walkers of Welcome said, would I raise some funding to help restore the ancient packhorse track over Cop Hill? With a handful of volunteers who are here today, we entered the competition for the People's Millions on ITV. We made a shortlist of the 6 projects selected from the whole of Yorkshire. We got 1,555 votes. It was the second highest in the whole of Yorkshire. And what we won was nearly £50,000. That sounds a lot of money, but most of that was restoring 200 yards of footpath down from Cop Hill to Netherwood Lane. Well, that footpath is just about now restored. What we've set up is a heritage trail with the support of other groups for you to explore at your leisure. You can walk in the footsteps of the Romans. You can follow the footsteps of the medieval packhorse trains. We've got people like Blind Jack of Knaresborough who helped to build the turnpike roads. Thomas Telford came to help actually put the Stanage Tunnel through. And we've also done something new. With a bit of the remaining funding, we've commissioned some new waymarkers. And Melanie here has made a wonderful sculpture of a packhorse with rolls of Yorkshire cloth on its back.
Yeah, I'm Melanie Wilkes. I'm a sculptor and I specialise in the carving of stone. My role with the Crossing the Pennines project was that I led some workshops in stone carving. I taught them in workshops carving waymarkers. I also was commissioned by the Marsden Society to create a sculpture of a packhorse, and I've also carved a 3-foot dancing hare. Both sculptures are also waymarkers. Well, I think these 2 particular sculptures add to the walk because they directly relate in a very physical way and a very visual way with actually, you know, the history of the tracks. For example, it was an ancient packhorse track, and I've actually carved a packhorse heavily laden with rolls of fabric. It gets people to think. It's like a focal point where, and it will engage people and get people to think about, you know, what's it all about, and you know, the history of the area, the heritage, and also keeping the heritage alive. You know, it kind of informs as well as is pleasurable.
So as well as giving you lots of enjoyment, we do hope that the trail will bring more visitors to the valley.
We've always promoted walking, riding, cycling in the area since ever I've been a councillor, and I think it brings a lot of tourists in. I think it brings people, it has health and well-being benefits for local people, helps the local economy.
I think it's really important because it's so good for the local economy. I mean, obviously, you know, industry's changed now, so you know, to get tourists here it's absolutely fantastic, and it's, like I say, it's a beautiful place to come and visit.
And don't forget, we've had events like the Tour de France, we've had other cycle rides through. There are other things we're trying to do, for example, you know, a new greenway through the Combe Valley. All those things will help bring people in. Some of the areas have got Walkers of Welcome accreditation, so we're on websites. People are coming in to walk and to experience the countryside, and that is important to the local economy.
There's so many community organisations, and without these people, these things wouldn't happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Worshipful Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Paul Kane.
Can I just say thank you on behalf of all of Kirklees, and thank you to Jan in particular. Obviously, people actually don't understand that these particular types of interventions like this would not happen at all without people like yourselves. And I personally want to thank you, Jan, and I'm sure people around here would like to thank you in the normal way. So I want to say thank you very much. That being said, I haven't been here very long, and we've only had a few conversations, and I have to say I have to commend the people and the community spirit that I've seen only within the last 10 to 15 minutes. I've got to also admire the commitment and enthusiasm and vision of the group, because the intended sort of reasons for doing this is not just actually to have the trail, it's also to increase the sustainability of the valley. And by sharing wonderful scenery with everybody, and the shops and the galleries and all the cafes, I'm sure it will increase the footfall of people coming to this wonderful village. And it costs nothing to undertake some of these walks, but the actual benefit of people gaining exercise and actually putting something back, I think it's creditable for what you're actually doing.
I'm Dave Rigby and I'm involved in Slaithwaite Walkers Are Welcome. Walkers Are Welcome, it's a national organisation and local groups are affiliated to the national organisation. So we've been going a couple of years, and what we're about is really encouraging people to walk locally. We do that in a number of different ways. One way is we have a series of footpath clearance sessions. There's obviously, particularly this time of year, footpaths get overgrown, so we go there with all sorts of tools to clear back the vegetation. And we're also in the process of drawing up some walk leaflets for local walks. Anything that improves footpaths locally is a really good thing. This is quite a large scale improvement, so that kind of adds to the benefits locally. I think it's terrific, and it's good to have a mix of things. So you're working on the footpath, but you're also focusing on the art side of things as well. And I think that just increases the impact of the whole thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Deputy Lieutenant of West Yorkshire, Mr. David Pearson and Mrs. Elaine Pearson.
Thank you very much. I love jobs like this, it's terrific. Thank you for asking us. And Jan's asked me to say a few words about heritage, which is something that's very, very close to my heart. Put simply, I think it's what we have from the past. And it can be ideas, and it can be culture, or it can be real physical things. But whatever it is, it can just be on display, and it can be dead, and it can be stuffed and mounted. But it can also be very much alive. We can go to historic houses that used to be homes, but now are a little more than museums. We can see a steam locomotive, dead and cold in a museum, however beautifully it's presented. But when we travel on a steam railway, that really goes somewhere. Then we don't only learn what it's about, but we understand its purpose too. And it's all the more magical because it not only enables you to be educated, it enables you to use it for what it was meant. And that's what we're doing today. These footpaths have actually got a purpose. And personally, I think that the best of our heritage is that. It's heritage that's real and that's alive. And I thought about that when we were listening to that rather splendid band. And I was looking a few weeks ago in a museum at some brass band instruments. And I thought, well, it's fine as that, but you can't actually experience what they are unless somebody's playing them and playing them properly. And it brings it to life. Today we gather to celebrate the very best sort of heritage, and that's live, purposeful heritage with a capital H. I'm delighted not only to open something that's a recreation of the past, something that's not merely on display, but rather it's something that's alive and that's real and can be used again for the purpose it was built for, and which now I suspect is in better condition than it has been for an awful long while. It does give me great pleasure to be here today to represent the Queen's Most Excellent Majesty and to declare open these renovated Pennine paths and roads in hills that mean so much to those of us who were born and living them. Let's hope that their revival through this project of these ancient routes is the first of many such schemes, and that we can look forward to people using and enjoying them for centuries to come. Thank you very much indeed.
Don't go walk. Women and children, everybody wants to go on it. It's only 30th of June. 10 miles. No. Take about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to have a look at a couple of interesting items.
Part of the route from Chester to York. We're on the road from Chester to York. Who was the silent woman?
She never told me.